You're spending thousands on ads and content to give customers freedom of choice. But that exact freedom is why 74% of your prospects are abandoning their carts right now. What if the reason your sales are dropping isn't because you're offering too little, but because you're offering too much? Imagine a supermarket display with 24 flavors of jam. It attracts a massive crowd, but only 3% actually buy. Now imagine a display with only 6 flavors. It gets less foot traffic, but sales explode by 1,000%. By the end of this video, I'm revealing the Rule of 3 decision architectures. 3 specific ways to restructure your offer so customers feel forced to say yes. Most marketers think they are building a bridge to the sale, but they're actually building a maze. I'm going to show you the precise structures used by companies like Costco and Apple to turn choice from a burden into a buy button. Think about what happens when a prospect lands on your services page today and sees 15 different packages. For about 2 seconds, they feel excited. Then, the comparison engine in their brain starts smoking. You think you're being helpful by covering every possible need, but to them, it feels like you just assigned them unpaid homework. Right now, in 2026, attention does not equal conversion. Let me ask you, how many options are sitting on your primary landing page right now? Tell me the exact number in the comments and be brutally honest. Humans are biologically hardwired to avoid maximum effort decisions to conserve mental energy. This creates analysis paralysis, which is basically like your computer freezing because you forced it to open 50 heavy browser tabs all at once. Let's test this. Which display actually sells more? 24 flavors of jam or 6? 3, 2, 1. The answer is 6. Most believe that giving buyers endless variety creates happier customers, but it's actually a conversion killer because the 24-flavor display only closed 3% of browsers, while the 6-flavor display closed 30%. Less interest, but 10 times more money in the bank. In a massive 2024 Accenture survey that established our current e-commerce baseline, 74% of U.S. shoppers abandoned carts specifically because they experienced choice overload, which is like your brain's circuit breaker tripping to stop an electrical fire. Think about spending 20 minutes scrolling Netflix just to end up watching absolutely nothing. That's exactly what clients do to your business. Offering a 20-page menu of services is like going on a blind date and listing 50 places you could go instead of just confidently picking a steakhouse. Every extra option is just another reason for them to say, "I'll think about it," which is buyer code for goodbye forever. Imagine pulling up to a busy stoplight, but instead of just red, yellow, and green, it has 15 different colored signals flashing at you all at once. Which one do you follow? You don't. You freeze. That paralysis isn't a glitch. It's biology. When you bombard a prospect with information overload, you aren't just confusing them, you are literally triggering their amygdala. That's the brain's fear center. The brain treats a hard decision, which is basically like a complex math problem wrapped in a bear attack, as a literal physical threat. It triggers pure avoidance behavior. We aren't logical calculators. Humans are what behavioral economists call Satisficers. We don't want the absolute best option. We just want the first good enough option so we can escape the cognitive stress. This brings us to Hick's law, the literal physics of the no. Let's test your intuition. If you double the number of choices on your pricing page, does the customer's decision time double? 3, 2, 1. The answer is no. But the exact number isn't the point. What's scary is how your prospect's brain punishes you for the extra options. The time increase is logarithmic, not linear. Adding one extra choice to a menu of 2 hurts the brain vastly more than adding one choice to a menu of 10. Those first few additions are the most biologically expensive. In fact, the established current standard in UI testing shows that reaction time increases by exactly 0.15 seconds for every bit of information added. In 2026's hyper-fast digital landscape, those milliseconds instantly compound into a total friction death for your website. We all fall victim to this. Think about that 11 p.m. regret when you realized you spent 40 minutes aggressively comparing SaaS CRM features instead of actually making sales calls. Or take my own stupidity. I recently spent 3 hours researching the absolute best ergonomic pens, only to realize I haven't written a single thing by hand in years. Quick question for you. Let me know in the comments. What is the most ridiculous, low-stakes thing you've spent hours overanalyzing instead of just picking one? Drop it below so I feel less insane. The brutal reality is, the more time a prospect spends deciding, the deeper they sink into decision fatigue. Complexity is a conversion tax. And the scariest part? Even when they finally do pick an option, their psychological torture is just beginning. You finally buy the Pro package for your team. The loading wheel spins. But right before the confirmation screen hits, you see the Elite package has that one extra automation feature. Suddenly, your stomach drops. You feel buyer's remorse before the transaction even clears. Meet opportunity cost, which is basically the psychological ghost of the choices you didn't make. Picture opportunity cost as a jealous ex-boyfriend standing directly behind your prospect at checkout, whispering, "Are you sure you couldn't do better?" Every time you add an option to your page, you hand that ex a megaphone. If you offer 50 options, you aren't giving 50 solutions. You're giving 49 guaranteed reasons to be unhappy. Who is happier with their choice? Someone with 2 options or someone with 20? 3, 2, 1. The answer is the person with 2 options. This choice actually predicts your baseline professional anxiety, which means the corporate economy is already tracking and weaponizing your regret. Research shows maximizers, those meticulously hunting for the absolute best, are consistently more miserable than Satisficers, who just grab the first solid solution. This is exactly why, right now in our 2026 market, 70% of B2B deals stall out. It's not because of price, it's decision debt, the paralyzing fear of making a visible mistake in front of the boss. So, how do we fix it? I promised you the rule of 3 decision architectures to force a yes. Before I reveal them, look at your own primary sales page. How many options are you pitching right now? Be honest and type the exact number in the comments below so we can see who the worst offender is. Here is your master key. 1. The Goldilocks tier. Offer exactly 3 options. The basic is your anchor. The elite is your decoy. The middle pro tier is your target. 2. The recommendation engine. Slap a most popular or best value badge on that middle tier. You instantly remove the need for analysis by proving other humans survived this choice. 3. Categorical reduction. If you legitimately have 50 items, group them into 3 outcome-based buckets. Categorize them simply, for growth, for speed, or for stability. This mimics the brain's natural pattern matching ability. By capping choices at 3, you shift the prospect from whether to buy to which one to buy, fully bypassing the lizard brain's flight response. In a world of infinite noise, the most valuable feature you can offer your customer is the subtraction of doubt. Audit your primary sales page today and delete at least 2 options that represent less than 10% of your revenue. Your conversion rate will thank you. But now that you've simplified your offer, how do you price these 3 tiers to make the middle one look like a steal? There's a psychological trigger called the decoy effect that makes people spend 40% more without thinking. Mastering choice is only half the battle. If you don't understand the decoy effect, you're leaving 40% of your revenue on the table for competitors to grab. Click the video on screen to master your price anchors, and I'll see you there.